I often help people without them asking. I know that sounds good. I even want to believe it is. But every time I do it, there's a small voice in my head that says, "See, you're useful." I am the type of person who is always alert. If someone seems to be struggling, I step in. I offer solutions, energy, time, even emotions. No one forces me. That's exactly the problem. I do it before anyone has a chance to say no. I build an image of being a caring person, a friend who is always there, someone you can rely on. And every small compliment feels like a sedative, as if all the chaos inside me can be redeemed with one good act. Until one day, I helped someone who really seemed to need it. I won't go into details about who. What's clear is, their life was a mess, and I saw a gap to step into. At first, it was just small things. Listening, giving advice, offering help, being present when needed. But I knew I was pushing. Slowly, gently. I began to feel like I knew what was best for them. I started to feel disappointed when they didn't follow my advice. I began to feel offended when they made their own choices. In my head, I always had a reason. I just care. I just want to help. But to be honest, I also want to be needed. I want my presence to feel important. I want them to rely on me, even though I never admit it. There were nights when I was silently angry. Angry because my help wasn't appreciated the way I imagined. Angry because I had sacrificed, yet didn't get the main role in their life. And that's when I realized my help was no longer about them. It was about me, about my ego, about my fear of being irrelevant. The peak came when they pulled away, not with anger, not with drama. They just slowly stopped opening up, stopped asking for opinions, stopped responding with enthusiasm. I felt betrayed, even though I was never asked to go that far. I forced myself in. I assumed I was the savior. At that point, all my justifications crumbled. I wasn't helping. I was filling a void inside myself with someone else's life. The guilt wasn't heroic, not dramatic, just heavy and embarrassing. I began to wonder how many people I had pushed under the guise of goodness. Now, every time I see someone who seems in need, my hands still itch to step in. But there's another, more honest voice. Do they need you, or do you need to feel needed? I don't have a clean answer yet. I'm still struggling to hold back, still learning to distinguish empathy from ego. And it doesn't make me feel better. It makes me feel quieter, because it turns out stopping being a savior is far scarier than looking good. Try pausing for a moment. Remember one moment when you helped. Was it about them or about yourself? I have to be honest about one more thing. I enjoy it when they fall apart. Not because I am cruel and want to see them suffer. No, that is too simple. I enjoy it because when they fall apart, they become the perfect project for me. I am a collector of other people's wounds. The deeper their wounds, the more space there is for me to occupy. I do not seek happy people. Happy people do not need me. I seek those who are cracked, because it is in the gaps of those cracks that I can slip myself in and feel like a hero. There is an intoxicating satisfaction when I give advice and see them follow it. In that moment, I feel like a small god arranging chess pieces. I tell them, "Don't worry, I'm here." But what I really want to say is, see how powerless you are without my guidance. I offer help not to lighten their burden, but to buy voting rights in their lives. Because I have helped you, I feel entitled to be angry when you do not listen to me. My worst illness is this. I am afraid to see them heal. Because when they heal, the contract of my usefulness ends, and I must return to being a stranger. I realize that my help is often oppressive. I give solutions so complete that they have no room to think for themselves. I give support that is so suffocating that they have no choice but to feel grateful. I do not free them. I am building a very comfortable prison where I am the warden. Now, every time I look in the mirror, I no longer see a good person who is quick to help. I see someone who is deeply lonely and has no identity other than the useful one. I realize that all this time I never truly saw them. I only saw the reflection of my own greatness in the eyes of those who were crying. This guilt now feels like rust. It does not disappear with a simple apology, because to whom should I apologize? To those I have manipulated with kindness? Or to myself, who has lost a sense of self, because I was too busy being a savior to others? This loneliness is now my punishment. I used to be afraid of being seen as selfish. Now I realize that being selfish is far more honest than being good, but full of deceit. I am learning to let other people fall. I am learning to let my world collapse without trying to prop up someone else's world. Try to imagine this for a moment. If tomorrow you could no longer give anything to anyone, no energy, no advice, no money, who would still stay by your side? And the more frightening question, would you still be able to love yourself when you are no longer useful to others?